over who will be the next minority leader. Ohio Republican Congressman and Freedom Caucus member Warren Davidson on what's at stake and how big of a gamble is this for the Freedom Caucus. Welcome to the show. The Freedom Caucus, of course, has had its share of run-ins in the first 2 years under President Trump, but it feels like the election outcome, the voice of the people, is sort of spoken, and I think the Freedom Caucus perhaps feels like they've been given a nod for greater leadership within the party.
Well, Charles, the conference did get more conservative. Unfortunately, we are not in the majority. And, you know, part of the challenge is, as Republicans, we had some members who aren't coming back, who took some tough votes, who had a hard time being able to get the things done that we campaigned on, but also at times broke from their district. You look at Jeff Denham, who's in a close race, maybe can find a way to close the gap there in his district. He broke from party, and I think that's the thing. If we're going to work our way back to the majority, we have to be the conference that you can come here, stand on the principles that you campaigned for, and in some cases, you got to represent your district and not just come here to follow orders.
Well, the following orders part has always been sort of the bone of contention. The Freedom Caucus sort of saying, hey, we want to get back to the roots of the Republican Party. We want to be the group that fights. And of course, there's an old school methodology in Washington, D.C. that sort of goes, hey, you want to get along with the other party. The Freedom Caucus is seen as a contentious bunch. Is that a bad rap?
I think it is. I mean, if you look at a lot of positions, Freedom Caucus is fine working with Democrats on civil liberties and things like that. But, you know, we're not necessarily on board with the amount of spending that's taken place. That's been a bipartisan effort to get us $21 trillion in debt. And frankly, as I've talked to people, whether they're Republicans or Democrats, I don't know anyone who ran for Congress because they felt like things were going so great in Congress. And so you look, whether it's Republican or Democrat, we're looking at people that have been in leadership for a long time. The status quo isn't working for a lot of America. And the reality is, you know, if you do what you did, you're going to get what you got. And I think we have to really listen. And I've been encouraged when I talked to Kevin McCarthy. I already know Jim Jordan's plans, and it really is a strong break from the way we've done business. It's not business as usual.
Well, so am I to assume then that if Jim Jordan doesn't make it, you'll be okay with Kevin McCarthy? I mean, you are a Freedom Caucus member.
I am, and the reality is, you know, it's healthy that we have this debate, that they air their different views of what we should go forward, and that might find a way to unify the conference in having the debate and having the vote, and we'll see. We'll see who wins in the end, but I hope that we really go about it in a methodical way and go with a bottom-up process that really makes sure that everyone, including our newest members, are part of the team.
Well, Representative Davidson, where do they differ? Where's the big differences here between these two gentlemen that are well respected, to your point, but obviously there's got to be something that's tugging you. What would be the main deciding point for you?
Well, I think one of the biggest ones is, if you look last year, the House passed all of our spending bills on time, ahead of October 1st. That was the first time since 2005. And Freedom Caucus held on board to get tax reform. We had continuing resolution after continuing resolution. And what we were promised is we were at least going to make the Senate vote. And when it came time, the Senate made their first public counteroffer, and we folded. It was a complete surrender on spending. We did the March Omnibus. We didn't even get 24 hours to read the bill. And I want to know that whoever is leading our party is actually going to be able to do what we said we were going to do. We're going to fight for the principles that we said. And where possible, by all means, let's work together, but let's not surrender.
Do you feel the Freedom Caucus is more in tune with the agenda, President Trump's agenda?
Oh, there's no question. You know, I was at a rally in Cleveland with President Trump, came to Cleveland the Monday before the election. And I was walking through the parking lot with Jim Jordan, and literally hundreds of people getting out of their cars. Hey, that's Jim Jordan. Running up to him, and just the amount of energy. And I think that we need that. We need that on our party. We need to make sure that Jim is a key part of our team. My hope is he's the minority leader. And when you look at the challenge for us, engaging that base, like the Act Blue money was, it's not just the support. Right. Small dollar contributions made a huge difference in this, who holds the House.
Representative Davidson, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Now, of course, the Democrats